Are you ready to go? Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. Hey, you bitches and hoes, Joel and Randy's Texas Tea.
All tea, all shade, and it's Texas made.
Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. You motherfuckers better have a Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend.
Well, Merry Christmas to you.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all don't be putting no X's on Christmas. I don't like this shit. It's not cool. It's not cool.
People have been putting X's on Christmas for years. Now you're not cool with it?
People have been going to hell for years, too. So,
okay, now you're not cool with it? It's been Xmas for God
cool
knows how long.
Years, neither.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be Xing out the Lord, honey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
I'm Joel Tatum.
Hi, I'm Randy, and show it if you need to know anything more, because frankly, I'm not going to tell you.
Mm-hmm. As you can see, we start the show in our usual manner. We always have a conversation about something silly, and then we introduce ourselves. Welcome to Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. So we had some little issues earlier.
We sure did.
Okay.
Y'all don't care about all that.
Mm-hmm. You know, actually, I'm going to admit I'm the one who had the issue. I had a little bit of a boo-boo, but we're back.
A boo-boo?
A boo-boo. I said a boo-boo-boo. A boo-boo.
I know what had happened.
What had happened was I pushed the wrong button and we lost our first episode, but it's not a big deal because we're always back for more.
We are on turn.
We are on turn. So let's dive into the first half hour, which we always dive into whatever's going on in gay culture, gay news, that kind of stuff. And then we're gonna have a little chat.
Always.
Mm-hmm. Let's start. Where do you want to start? Ooh, let's go with Jamaica, girl.
Oh, are we come back to Jamaica? Your new island home. You don't remember that commercial?
Oh, no, I remember. You know what I remember? I remember Whoopi Goldberg stand-up. The first time I saw her do stand-up on Broadway. And she was doing a commercial for Jamaica. And she said, and if I remember the line correctly, she said she was describing this beautiful Jamaican man just holding a big tray of fruit. Holding a big tray of food. And he says, "Come back for the fresh fruit." In a in a very effeminate voice. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm. So I remember every time I hear that song, I remember that one line from her stand-up. It was a long time ago, folks. It was a long time ago. But if you...
Oh, no, I remember that show. Mm-hmm. And I love that show.
Mm-hmm.
I've grown... Listen, I have the same relationship with Whoopi as I have with Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
We have a love-hate relationship, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I love her, sometimes I hate her.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm in hate mode. But that's neither here nor there. But listen, her stand-up show on HBO was one of the best female comedian performances of all time.
Yeah, it was.
Seriously.
It was
and
seriously.
I want everybody to look it up on YouTube because you know it's on YouTube, girl.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. But let's get back to...
It's amazing. Well, no, speaking of comedians...
No, wait. Let's get back to Jamaica because we're still talking about Jamaica.
Oh, are we going back to Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica is kind of softening its stance on homosexuality, so to speak, and gender identity and all the other stuff. They actually had...
Stop killing us.
Pretty much. A lot of the gay groups on the island now have been working a lot more closely with the government, and in doing so, the people's minds are slowly starting to change. Now, you're not going to change everybody's mind. We can't even change everybody's mind here. We can't even get people to... half of the time, we can't even get people to use a mind, nonetheless try to change it. You can't change nothing you ain't got.
But you don't want to fuck with the gays in America today, honey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might lose your show. You might lose your car dealership.
Mm-hmm. You might.
We keep it real in America.
You might even lose your Oscar spot.
You might.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
indeed.
But yeah, Jamaica is now softening. It's no longer the most homophobic country on the planet. It has now dropped in that rating, which is a good sign that, you know what, when gays and lesbians say we've had enough, we got to figure out a way to make our lives better. We figure out a way.
That's right. And you know what? Joe and I have said many times, y'all stand up. I'm not saying we're responsible, but I'm saying we're responsible.
Yeah, exactly. So, and even though we still have a little bit of a tough time here. Anytime you make a change to something, it takes a while for society to 100%, well, 99, 80% accept it. So, it's always going to be, as long as human beings are walking on this earth, there's always going to be that troll. There's always going to be that troll. And that's fine as long as we keep those numbers low.
Yes.
So good for you, Jamaica, for trying to get your shit together. Now look, they ain't gonna have everybody should pick themselves up and do something. If there's something going on in your country you don't like, organize. Get together, girl. Don't leave your country. Fix your country. Fix your damn country. And you know what? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Don't get me started. But speaking of standing on a stage, let's talk a little bit about Kevin Hart and his whatever's going on with him, because this guy here now, as a black man, to hear those kind of jokes brought back not horrible memories, because thankfully enough my parents weren't as homophobic as a lot of other parents were. I was actually lucky on that point, but I knew a lot of young black men who were gay who felt the abuse from their fathers when they tried to come out, or that kind of thing. So for him to make those kind of jokes, and those kind of jokes directed at his own son, by the way. His own son, who happens to be, I think, isn't at the time that he made the joke, I think was like 5, 6 years old at the time. He's no longer that age. But that old quote unquote joke. But that's not a joke. He actually threatened violence on his own show behind what he said, talking about breaking a dollhouse on his head if he caught him playing with Barbie and her dollhouse. Let me ask. Are you kidding? You know the funny. He could have said, "I'll slap you with a Barbie doll." Scary, but breaking a Barbie dollhouse over somebody's head at that age could kill a child. So, and nobody thought about that at the time, which that was only not because there have been so many comedians who told so many gay sort of jokes. Another comedian, for instance, they named some on a show I watched last night. I won't say the show because I'm not trying to advertise for nobody, but Amy Poehler, not Amy Poehler, the blonde that I like, and I'm sorry that she tells jokes like that. You know, the big girl. Anyway, the other one was Monique. Monique has told several jokes. What? See, I can't remember nobody's name. You know how bad I am with names, especially with folks I don't know. But Jimmy Kimmel's ex-wife, Sarah Silverman. Yes, Sarah Silverman does a lot of gay jokes. Apparently, I've never heard them, but apparently she does. I used to watch her old stand-up, when she was doing stand-up on Comedy Central, and she said a lot of things about gay people. She said a lot of things about black people. She said a lot of things about Jewish people. She said...
I was talking about Chelsea Handler. Chelsea Handler is another one who says she likes gay people, but then she slams them all the time. She slams gay people like nobody's business. And she would call her straight panel back in the day when she had her show, Chelsea Lately, late night Chelsea Lately. Girl, she would call straight members of the panel fags. And we know you're a fag and stuff like that. She was never called out. I'm not giving Kevin Hart a pass. I'm just saying that their comedy was actually sort of funny. They were jokes. But nobody's ever called them on it. And I think you're going to call somebody, call them out. Call them all out. And put a stop to it, because the truth is, but then again, funny's funny. So I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to real jokes. But what Kevin Hart said in that one instance that I know of, because that's the only one they quote him on, and frankly, I don't watch Kevin Hart stand up. But if that kind of hate language, hate language, that breeds hatred and violence to gay people, and that's shit. You know, you don't tell somebody. What I would do is imagine if you had a child that was effeminate. And if you were a wife, for instance, of a feminine child, and your husband heard this dumbass saying he would beat his child with a Barbie doll house over the head, your husband walks in and says, catches his son with a Barbie doll and does it. What I'm saying, it instigates. That kind of language instigates. That's the last thing we need. Anybody needs.
But like I said, as a black person, I heard men talk like that all the time when I was a kid. I heard them talk like that all the time, and they would make jokes and everything else. And like I said, I watched the comedians from the it wasn't just black men. It was a lot of Andrew Dice Clay and all the rest.
No, and as a white person, I have heard, girl, I come from a redneck family. I grew up teased relentlessly by an uncle who scared me. He scared me because I knew I was gay when I was that age. I'm talking about 7 years old, and he would say, I bet you got frilly pennies on. I bet you got sugar in your tank, don't you, boy? And, you know, it used to scare me to death. You know, I hated him. He was so mean, and he would do it behind my mother's back. And I would never tell her because we were taught you don't tell on adults. You don't do that. You don't tell on adults. You know, I was brought up in the South, and they don't call them rednecks for nothing. Had my share of abuse as a child verbally, never from my family. Never. Would die before he said anything like Kevin Hart said. Act. And that scares me for his child. And I hope his child is as clear as a $3 bill, as they say.
Here's the thing, and we're going to end this discussion because I think we're done with Kevin Hart. I think as gay men, you're not going to ruin what we call our football night, which is the Oscars. You're not going to ruin it by standing up on that stage. So we're cool. We're good. You're going to be all right. Your career will be just fine.
And guess what? Megan Mullally's hosting, so we will all be happy.
Yeah, well, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. You got about your business, but don't sit up here and look us in the face. And I think Randy described it before, laying in bed with your shirt off.
Oh, right? Trying to make an apology.
And try to make an apology.
To be possibly naked for,
pandering to
us. Your
us.
damn pillows with your sheet just right, so you're showing your chest. Ugly ass chest, by the way.
So
showing your ugly ass chest.
So you think that just because you go to the gym 6 times a week, laying up in bed half naked, you think you're going to pander and apologize to us? What's wrong with you? Who do you think we are?
And what kind of mixed messages he's sending? He's trying to turn some queens on and then tell them, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, no.
Honey, we don't have no time for no pocket gaze, so we've moved on.
No.
We've
Listen,
moved
ain't
on.
nothing wrong with short folks.
No, there is.
Y'all, we talking about Kevin Hart. We just trying to hurt his heart, not y'all.
and let me apologize to the gay community. I shouldn't have called him a pocket gay. I don't want him associated with gay at all. I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. We're done.
So,
and if I may use a pun, this heart is broken.
So we're gonna move on.
That's my bad pun.
We are just gonna move on. So what you got for me, Randy?
Well, I'll tell you something. I wish I was in court when this judge had said what he said, honey, because I would have stood up and said, have some of that.
Won't you tell us a story, Randy?
Well, 5 months ago, Judge John W. Hallett of Jefferson County, New York, had said regarding a promo for a film festival celebrating Viggo Mortensen, that is the gayest thing I've ever heard. And then he told the attorney, you and Viggo get a room and suck each other's dick.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, honey, that sounds good to me.
I would have just went, okay, by the way, you won't get fired, but okay.
But he didn't get fired. That was 5 months ago. He did not get fired. He just stepped down. And he gets, and listen, you know what? I don't mean no harm. Listen, gay people, I love y'all. You're my folks. And I love you with my heart. But we've got to stop getting people fired from their jobs to the point that they lose their entire life. Seriously. You know what? Fine. He said that. He said, but he shouldn't lose everything. I'm sorry. I think you should lose everything behind a statement simply because it's widespread because of the internet. And he didn't. I'm happy that he didn't. I'm happy he's down as a judge because clearly there's something wrong with him.
Clearly.
I'm happy that nutty ass motherfucker stepped down, but I don't want him to lose his pension or his retirement or anything like that. He's been a judge for over 30 years. Or over 25. I don't want you to lose your everything. I want you to get your ass out of my house.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong when I say this, and I kind of agree with you on this. But I will say this: if you ever pop back up in public life again, we will destroy you. That's as simple as that. So take your pension.
Yeah.
Take your.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Take your pension. Take your retirement. Don't even go near anybody who is running for anything. Just live your little life. Because, like I said, if you come back, you will get destroyed.
Well, he resigned before he was fired, and that's what you do.
No, that's what I'm saying.
When you have retirement and pension and a family and all that.
Yeah, I understand. And like I said,
you take your ass home and sit on your goddamn porch.
Exactly. So
nobody want to hear from you, and you know it. You don't live in that world anymore. I don't know what world he was living in that he thought he could say that any damn way.
This ain't 1975, honey. You can't just be saying shit anymore.
No.
Oh, good Lord.
So, glad he went back. I'm glad he's down in his house, wherever he lives. He may not live in Jefferson County.
But Randy,
wherever he lives, I'm glad he's got his condo or whatever.
But Randy, like I
he's
said,
not a judge anymore, and that's a blessing for all.
Like I said, I completely agree with you when it comes to that. I don't think he should lose everything. I mean, you resigned. You resigned.
He lose anything but his job. That's it.
And
he knew he was lose his job. But then again, that wasn't hate speech, really. You know what?
Yeah.
I have said in my lifetime that is the gayest thing I've ever seen. Use that term. But I'm not a judge, and I wouldn't do it sitting on the damn bench.
Yeah, exactly.
So that he should lose his job for that.
And I can guarantee you, right after he said it, he knew he had to resign.
Oh, hell yeah.
He knew he had to resign.
Yeah.
He knew he had just ended his career. It was done. But yeah, we don't need to. You just need to stay out of the limelight and don't run for anything ever again. And you'll be fine. Stay in your little house. Stay in your lane.
Exactly.
And that's that.
Stay home and don't say anything to anybody any other time about anything like that. And honestly, I don't think he ever really did. I really think he thought he was being funny and was on a roll. You know, some people think they're funny and just keep on keeping on. But anyway, they do. So what you got for me?
Oh, Lord. Oh, what do I have for you?
Y'all, we're doing this what you got for me because we're not in the same place. We're in different places.
No, Randy's had to phone it in because
I'm in Siberia. I have to phone it in.
Or as we call it, Crosby, Texas.
As we call it Crosby. But see, not everybody knows where Crosby is, but everyone knows how how remote Siberia is. So that's why. How remote and cold Siberia is. And frankly, it's quite pleasant over here, and I love it over here. I listen. God is good, honey. It's the truth.
And that is true. God is good, I guess. Oh my God. Well, we talked about this a little bit. The government has decided that they are going to shut down labs that are working on cures for HIV.
What?
Something about the religious rights and aborted fetuses and all kinds of stuff. Girl, I don't know. Girl, it's just a big old it's a mess.
Really? I don't know what in the hell aborted fetuses have to do with the religious right. And, I mean, not with the religious right, but with shutting down. Oh, I know what they have to do with it. Stem cell research.
Yeah, stem cell research.
Well, listen, I don't know anything about being the religious right. I believe you have a right to be religious, but I don't believe that means. I don't think that means that you have to tell everybody else
exactly
what the hell to do.
And I want to tell people that it might sound like a bad news in the United States, but trust me, somebody around the world is going to find a cure. So you can't really stop. Every scientist on the planet is working on a cure, and a lot of people have come close. So somebody, even in South Africa, where the idea of the vaccine became even more a prominent idea, as opposed to something that may not happen for another 20. I sat down with a person who told me that they would probably never see a cure for HIV in their lifetime, and we are so close. We are so close.
I hope so. I pray so. But you know what? Keeping it real, honey, because keep keeps it real. If we get a cure, it may not be from this country, and if it's not from this country, it'll be free to everybody in every other country, but it won't be free to us, because guess what?
No.
This country loves to charge money for shit.
Exactly.
Greedy ass bitches love to charge money behind some cures for anything. For anything.
You know, when you go to the doctor and you look at your bill after you leave the doctor's, and you're asking yourself why a Band-Aid that costs less than 20 cents, you can buy a whole box of them for $5.99 at any of your, I'm not even going to say the names, but any of your drugstores. It's costing you $15 to $25 for a simple Band-Aid. We charge for everything.
We charge for everything. And don't get it twisted. I had a friend who went to the hospital years ago. This was years ago. And said that he paid $15 for Tylenol.
Yep.
A pill.
So you know that if somebody in someplace, say like France or South Africa or England,
if they get it first.
They gonna get it first. And they're gonna
give it. They're gonna give it to this country, and I love my country, but I know my country. They're gonna give it to this country, and this country is gonna sell it to us.
And for thousands of dollars.
Can you afford to live?
Exactly.
I wonder how much that. Speaking of which, they cured hepatitis C.
Yes.
I wonder how much that pill is.
You know,
I wonder because I have a friend who has psoriasis, and he pays the pill that he takes is he doesn't take a pill actually. He does injections at home. $10,000.
Oh wow.
An injection, and it's once a month. $10,000 a month. His insurance pays for most of it. But even $1,000 a month, that's too much.
Yep, exactly. Well, you know what, folks? Here's the thing. We need to hear from y'all. You know, we have Joel and Randy's Texas Tea on our Joel and Randy's Texas Tea on our Facebook page. So you can come to our page and send us comments, questions, whatever. You can write to the show via email, Joel and Randy sh1 at Gmail. You know what? Let me make sure. Sorry, folks. Let me just make sure because I don't want to be sending you to the. Joel and Randy Show 1 at gmail.com. You know, we're on Spreaker, we're on iTunes, we're on iHeartRadio. If you want to leave comments there, please feel free to. But we want to hear from you.
We really do.
We really do. You know, we have now done 46 episodes, and we're having a good time. We're having
a great time. We hope y'all are having a great time too. But the truth is, we want responses from. We see the numbers. We know you're listening. But you know what? We would like to do is we would like to have you all email or twat or whatever. Instagram cracker.
If you want to reach us on Instagram, do it through me, Joel Tatum, on Instagram. You should be able to find my page.
But we would love to hear from you. And if you send us your comments, even the bad ones, we don't care. We just gonna read you back. If you send us the bad ones might be better.
Yeah, the bad ones might be even more fun. So,
because you know what, Joe? It reminds me of back in the day when I worked at the Earl of Gerd, and I would get bad comment cards. I used to stick them in my pocket and wait until I don't know what the hell Olive Garden was thinking because they were just little pieces of paper, and they could write on, and I could say they didn't fill one out at the end of the night, because the manager would say, "Please hand me your comment Hart, and I'd be like, okay, girl, here. And they were all fabulous. There might have been 4 of them, but they were all fabulous. I kept the rest of that shit in my pocket. I took it home and laughed my ass off. So basically what I'm trying to say is, bring it, bitches. Because I'll be laughing my ass off.
All right. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break. I got a little bit of music. And we will be back in a couple of minutes, okay? Everybody just hang out for a little bit. We'll see you then. We got some more stuff to talk about in the second half. We'll see you then.
Hang on, bitches.
The expression virgin, previous to maybe the last few hundred years, actually was completely a spiritual term. And, well, maybe going back more than a few hundred years, but essentially it's describing the purity of the mother light within that which is Omega.
Erotica, romance, erotica, romance. Another bad weekend. I'll be my mistress tonight. I'm gonna get into my pants. I could go out dancing, or maybe romancing, but I don't expect it. I'm always rejected. Wouldn't do much good at a pub or a party, because I'm neither tough nor arty. Another week without having my way, another week without having a lay. As usual, I've drawn a blank. No one's home, I'm gonna have a I'm gonna get into my pants. Erotic, erotic, put my hands all over my body. Erotic, erotic, put my hands all over my body. Erotic, erotic, put my hands all over my body. Erotic, erotic. When I get that feeling like I need sexual healing, there's a certain satisfaction and a little bit of semen. I'm chaste and well behaved, but I didn't choose it. It's because the one I love thinks I'm a loser. Given up on being sexually free, so I drink and watch TV. Hope I didn't get too tanked, or I won't be able to have a I'm gonna empty out my glands all over me. Erotic, erotic, put my hands all over my body. Erotic, erotic, put my hands all over my body. Erotic, erotic, put my hands all over my body. Erotic, erotic.
You have to think about how to do it. You have to it takes energy just to prepare for and commit the act. And the person who is very depressed doesn't have that energy.
Major Video, the place for major releases. Every
Put my hands all over my body.
Hello, everybody. We're back. We're back. You know we had to run and do things.
You know,
there is nothing.
I don't have any hobbies. I wish I had a hobby. Do people have hobbies anymore? I don't know anybody who has a hobby.
Well, actually, my neighbor from my old apartment complex used to be a photographer. Well, his hobby was photography. He'd take pictures of birds and nature and that kind of stuff.
That's a good hobby.
But he was the only person I knew who had a hobby.
Yeah, because that's really a hobby. See, I think there's some white privilege going on with hobbies. If I had to call something white privilege, I would say hobbies. Having a hobby is some white privilege shit.
That's actually. I never thought of it that way. But I guess you're right.
No, wait.
Because no one ever. No one ever
I'm
says.
gonna do my impression. I'm gonna do my impression of a white dude with a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brenda and I go bird watching every Saturday. Sometimes it leads into Sunday. Who knows? We're crazy that way.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, that's some white privilege.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever heard anyone ask another human being if they had a hobby.
Huh.
No one.
Oh, no, they do it on, there are some applications. Girl, I applied at Whole Foods and they asked me what my goddamn hobby was. I wasn't cool enough to get the job. This was in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't cool enough to get the job at fucking Whole Foods because I wasn't hippie cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have no damn hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have no damn tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a nose piercing, eyebrow piercing, belly piercing, dick piercing, asshole piercing.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had on the application, I'm not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, on the application, they asked me what kind of fruit I would be if I were a fucking fruit.
What did you say, girl?
And I based it on my size at the time, so I said a pear. And I wasn't much of a pear. I was a very lean pear, but shit, I didn't know what to say.
Mm-hmm. I know what to say. Welcome to the second half of the show.
Welcome to the second half of the show.
Welcome to the second half of the show. And we started it off with a Whole Foods story.
Yes, we did.
Where that
you know what
ended-
they have at Whole Foods? You know what they do have at Whole Foods? And they'll do it fresh for you every day.
Mm-hmm.
A grinder. But guess who doesn't deserve a grinder?
Mm-hmm.
The president of Grindr. His name is something Chin.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me the first name because my dyslexia has kicked in and my notes, I can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But he had said he doesn't believe in gay marriage. Marriage is between a man and a woman.
So the president of a company that encourages hookups, where nobody is thinking about marriage at all.
Right.
Mm-mm. The only thing they're thinking about is what time are you coming over and when are you leaving?
Exactly.
Has the nerve enough to be president of that kind of company and say that gay marriage...
Yes, and the man who quit is Jesus Gregorio Smith, and honey, he's cute.
Mm-hmm.
He's a gay social media executive there. And girl, guess what? He said, girl, I can no longer support this attitude. I've got to resign. So he resigned. And he resigned well. He was very respectful. But he said, I can't do this.
I know.
I don't blame him.
This is how a queen can be sometimes. I'm not doing this. I'm out.
Why would you work for somebody who has that kind of attitude?
On a gay app, of all things.
On a gay, that just means that they're used in the gay community for money. So, you know, of course, let's face it. This is a hoe site. This is a site for sluts. This is a site for men who are just having...
I think you described it as an online bookstore.
It's like an online bookstore, exactly. Except you don't have the glory holes.
You don't have the glory holes. You don't have the... We'll talk about...
The truth is, let's face it. There is no respect on this site any damn way, and this motherfucker is the president of a hoe house.
Why would you say that out loud?
And then he's gonna get some attitude. Don't get attitude about gay marriage when, excuse me, there is no sanctity in what you're doing for a living, and you got the nerve. Only a straight dude. Only a straight dude.
Only a straight dude. Mm-hmm.
Seriously, only a straight guy would act like he's sanctified and everybody else is sinning.
Mm-hmm.
On a business that he owns and an activity that he promotes.
Mm-hmm.
That is some fucked up shit.
You can't get any more fucked up than that. So,
no, but this motherfucker.
All I have to, you know what,
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Randy? Though, let's just put it out here for all you gay men who are on Grindr. It's time for you to leave Grindr. It is seriously time for you to leave Grindr. Just leave them. We'll take you at Scruff. We'll take you at Growler until y'all find your own thing. But go on ahead and leave Grindr. Just say bye, girl.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I have a name for a new site.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Grinner. It's almost Grindr, but it's called Grinner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
The slogan will be, if this dick can't put a smile on your face, nobody can.
Woo! Good luck getting. You gonna need a wonderful marketing team to get that.
Right? But the truth is this. The truth is this, honey, as far as I'm concerned, if I can't eat at Chick-fil-A behind some bullshit comments that the owner has made and get me some good motherfucking chicken, y'all can't get no dick to eat off Grindr. Because that's just not cool.
That is not cool. So go ahead.
I'm calling for a boy Kurt. Boy Kurt Grindr.
Exactly. You know, with Grinner, you'll probably get 20% more gay than you got at Grindr anyway. So go ahead.
Grinner's kind of a creepy name. But it's fun just the same. It's fun just the same.
Well,
and we can say somebody, and we'll change the whole expression, and we'll say somebody's got a dick-eating grin.
You are a marketing genius, Randy.
I think I am. I've always wanted to be in advertising. You know, my inspiration was Darren Stevens from Bewitched.
Oh, yes. He was also my inspiration, too.
I always thought I could be really good in advertising. I could come up with some fucking slogans, girl.
And for some strange reason, as a child, I thought he was hot. But I can't remember if I liked the first Darren or the second Darren.
Well, the first Darren had a big old dick. The second Darren did not.
Wasn't the first Darren gay?
No, the first Darren was straight. The second Darren was gay.
Oh, okay. All right.
The first Darren, in fact, blamed the show for... He died of emphysema, and he blamed the show for letting him smoke every day on set, I think, if I remember correctly, for his emphysema, and thought they owed him money. And, you know, I have a problem with people blaming shit on other people when they have a personal choice in the first damn place. Didn't nobody hold a gun to your head and say, bitch, smoke a cigarette. And let's face it, when we were kids, Joe and I are 50. I'm sorry, Joel. I forgot to regard our audience. Joe and I are just talking because we're on the phone, y'all. We're just talking. No, audience members, if you're listening, and I hope you are, ashtrays were everywhere. When we were children, there were ashtrays on airplanes, there were ashtrays at the bank, there were ashtrays at the hospital. There were doctors walking around smoking motherfucking cigarettes.
Now, don't forget, we were kids, so we were exposed to all of that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Y'all don't understand. The world was a different place when we were kids. But it was a fun place. before you were no longer allowed to smoke on planes. Joel, did I lose you? Hey there.
I'm sorry, say that again, Randy. Randy. Hello, Randy. Uh-oh. I think we lost Randy for a few seconds. Let me find out what's going on here. In the meantime, while we wait on Randy to come back, once again, we've been doing this show now for about 8 months. We have 45 episodes. The numbers might be off, but you know what I mean. The fact of the matter is that we know we have an audience, and we love y'all, and we just want to hear. We want to know what we can do better, what we're doing right now, blah, 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 blah. So, once again, we are on iTunes, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Spreaker, of course, as well as several other sites. Hello?
Lost you.
Yes, I lost you. So let me finish this up, Randy. So you can see us on our Facebook page, The Joel and Randy Show. Where you can message me on Instagram at Joel Tatum, or our Twitter feed, which we don't use that much, and I guess we're going to have to start using a little bit more. I'll get back to you on that. Go ahead, Randy. Randy's back. So, Randy,
I'm back, Daddy.
So, we lost you, and I had to keep the.
Well, we left off.
Mm-hmm.
I left off, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to finish this point.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun for Joel and I. We were kids,
Mm-hmm.
but there were ashtrays everywhere. Girl, everybody smoked.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally
Mm-hmm.
had the only cigarette I've ever had on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I say literally because I know how to use the word in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was literally the last year. That's what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I did literally have that cigarette, bitches. So I know how to use the word.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Ricky was a mean motherfucker. And we lit up 120s. The cigarette. Have you ever seen a 120, Joel?
Yeah, I've seen a 120. They're like super skinny. And
No, not the super skinny ones. We're talking about the thick 120s. I can't remember the name of the cigarette.
Oh, and the gold pack?
Leopard skin, faux leopard skin boxes.
Yeah, I remember those.
Girl. Anyway, so we were smoking them on the plane
Mm-hmm.
and acting like we were Joan Collins,
Mm-hmm.
and this woman behind us said, "Could you put that cigarette out?"
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Ricky, being Ricky, because we were 16 years old, Ricky turned around and said, "Can you shut your fucking mouth?"
Mm-hmm.
We're in the smoking section.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, nope. No more smoking section. I kind of miss the smoking section.
Mm-hmm.
I would love...
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I would love if we were allowed to smoke in bars again. Because that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love smoking in bars.
Mm-hmm. No, even though I still, unfortunately, I still partake of the cigarette, and I found out my blood pressure was a little high, so I might have to get rid of the cigarette, which is going to be the hardest. Y'all might hear some shows.
No more coffee, girl. No more cigarettes.
Y'all might hear some shows where I'm super angry about everything. They might hear some shows where I'm super angry about everything. You'll know then that I've quit smoking.
Well, y'all get ready. That's what I was about to say. Y'all get ready.
Y'all just get ready because it's going
to start reading y'all. He's not going to read me, honey. But he'll read y'all.
Well, I might read Randy every now and then, but it's gonna be more. It's not gonna be reading. It's just gonna be a little bit of shade, just a little bit.
Yeah, he does that. He does that shit. Girl, listen.
I slip it in there every now and then.
Sometimes I'll say hello and doesn't respond. Oh, this bitch is throwing shade. I'm in his house, and I say hello. It's not like we're on the phone, bitch. I'm in his house. I say hello. I say hello, and
Because when I'm in my house,
I can be annoying, y'all, because when I wake up in the morning, I'm chipper. I'm a chipper bitch.
Oh, I am not.
So I'm like, oh, good morning. And I understand the blessing of another day. Some people take it for granted.
And then I end up saying something like, I'd be more blessed if you weren't here. It's too early in the morning for that bitch.
And by the way,
Daddy has not had his morning pick him
11
up.
o'clock. 11 o'clock is not early in the morning.
Hey, it's early in the morning for me.
For me back in the day, but I'm in Siberia now, bitch. I wake up at 8:30.
Oh, Lord, no. I wake up at 8:30 to go to work. On my days off, I sleep till about 9:30. That's pretty much now sleeping in. Yes. If I slept...
We've forgotten about the people on the air. We're really not speaking to them at all.
We're always...
We're just speaking to each other.
We are always... I'm speaking to the people now. I'm just basically explaining that sometimes, like I said, y'all will get red when I quit smoking. But it's only going to last...
I do want comments. And you know what? I do want to read... Let's make a segment when we get the emails and the comments. We're going to do a whole segment where we just read letters, and it's going to be cute. I think it's going to be scary cute, but you know what? I got you.
I just think it's cute that you said the word letters. I mean, girl, ain't nobody wrote a letter. Ain't nobody wrote a letter.
You don't have to print them out. You don't have to print them out on a printer.
How about a letter?
So they gonna look like letters.
They're gonna send email. They're gonna tweet us. They're gonna leave comments on. Ain't nobody.
You're gonna have to put them on paper.
Girl, this ain't 1850. Ain't nobody writing no letters.
No, not actually writing letters, but you have to put them on paper so I can read them. So I can read them. I want to read them so I can read them.
I will transcribe.
I don't want to
transcribe that
Y'all
for
be
you.
Nice.
I'll be the copy editor on that when that happens. So I will probably leave out some bitches or some hoes if somebody says anything like that. But
I want everything to be fresh. You people listening to me, I want everything to be real because I'm real. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I don't like your ass, I'm gonna tell you.
And she has.
And I will.
So, that being said, we have just a couple of minutes. So, I want to throw this in here because I thought it was the most amazing thing. By the way, we get a lot of the stuff that we read, we get from LGBTQ Nation, just to throw that out there. So that everybody knows that we have a source. We just not making this shit up. We are not reporters. Okay, this is not a Clark Kent.
And sometimes.
This is not a Clark Kent, Lois Lane setup here. We are.
No, hell no. I got a lot of my shit from Out Magazine tonight. And I love Out Magazine. Shout out to them. I'm not getting paid by Out Magazine. I wish I was, because y'all know y'all can afford.
But I wanted to throw this in here before the end of the show, and we have plenty of time to talk about it because it turns out that a museum in Australia, they are one of the displays that they would like to put. One of the objects that they would like to put on display is the cutout of a glory hole from a place where gays used to hang out about 100 and some odd years ago. And some of the gays are thinking that, oh, this is great, it's a part of gay culture, part of gay history, blah, 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 blah. And yet there's those few gays who are like saying that this is the tackiest thing that they've ever seen and it should not go into a museum. Now, I enjoyed reading that article simply because I never thought I would see the day in gay history where we would be putting a glory hole from an establishment that's 100 and something years old into a museum. I think it's just the most wonderful thing on the planet.
Indeed. And from my point of view, I want everybody to live their best life. And not everybody is a slut. But if you ever were a slut, you know what a glory hole is. And I think that's cool.
And even if you weren't or didn't consider yourself a slut, you know what a glory hole is. You know what a glory hole is. So we're not going to pretend that we don't know what a glory hole is on this show. Because
no, indeed.
Because I can guarantee,
honey, but guess what?
I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen of the audience out there, if Randy had a chance and he was standing right there in front of it looking at it in the museum, he'd stick his dick in it.
I would. simply because we're both like a fine wine, honey. We have aged into greatness. And so, definitely, I don't know, definitely. But you know what? In truth, I've never done it. Honestly, I've never done that because when I was in those places that you go to find those particular holes, I would crouch down and say, "Let me see your face." Because listen, I don't let ugly men suck my dick. I would say, "Okay, I approve. Come over in the room and you can blow me." At 16, girl, y'all didn't have as much fun as I did if you didn't go to those places because I had a whole lot of fun.
And I don't have any comment on that because you were 16 and I'm not making any comments on that.
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
I am not making no comments.
16-year-old me was letting 30-year-old men blow me and I didn't care. Just as long as, you know what, as long as you blew me. I didn't care. I wasn't blowing nobody, honey. I was too paranoid. It was the 80s, girl.
Yes.
I was paranoid. I'm not saying I'm above blowing somebody, but I damn sure didn't do it then.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, all you gay men out there, don't pretend like you don't know what a glory hole is because this slut knows what a glory hole is.
Yeah.
Oh my
goodness. I hope you're talking about yourself in the third person, by the way. Don't be calling me a slut, bitch.
No.
But don't get your asses all up on your backs and act like you're better than everybody else. You bitches trying to tell somebody they shouldn't be a glory hole because it's tacky. Guess what? You know, your knees may have gotten tacky when you were on them sucking some dick.
Robbing somebody's grave.
You know what else gets tacky? What else gets tacky? A face full of cum. So y'all need to read. It gets awful tacky, especially if you leave it there long enough.
Girl. It's the truth though, baby. Girl.
Real, bitches. I keep it real.
All I have to say about that story is that I knew other places where the glory holes were famous in Houston, and I have to tell you that when those places found out and they covered up their little hole, when they covered up their little hole,
Did you just say covered up their little hole?
Yes, put some putty up in there and covered it all up. thought they were being cute. Oh, we're not going to have this happening anymore. Sweetie, they just got smarter and just decided to meet each other in the stall.
Right.
They just came up with new signals and all kinds of things. You didn't stop anything from going on. All you did was cover up a hole. That's it.
Now everybody knows. Now, Joe, now we're talking about the culture. Everybody knows you're not supposed to speak in places like that. You just use your eyes. Use your eyes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes say it all, because ain't nobody talking, ain't no bookstore girl.
Ain't nobody talking. But speaking of talking, bitch. But speaking of talking, we are at the end of this episode. We had a good time. We did. We had a good time. As always, we enjoy you listening to us and sometimes eavesdropping on us because, like Randy said, sometimes we get to talking. We get to talking and sometimes and then we're like, oh, wait, we got an audience.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be talking to the audience. But we know y'all enjoy it. That's why y'all listen. Y'all, you know we go on to these tangents where we just, you know, and it's mostly Randy. Randy tells some of the most upstanding stories.
They're real. I keep it real. It's all on it.
From her past that I have ever heard. Sometimes I'm hearing them for the first time and I'm like, this bitches.
I have a good past,
this bitch
honey,
is gay.
and I've got a better future.
Anyway, thank you for listening to us.
Y'all.
Good night. Once again, catch us on iTunes, on Spreaker, on iHeartRadio. Drop us an email at joelandrandyshow1@gmail. Visit our Facebook page, Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. And like I said, just let us know anything. So we'll see you later.
Yeah.
We'll see you later. Say bye, Randy.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all.